Welcome back to Combat Star. In today's video, we're going to start with Jorge Masvidal confirming he's coming out of retirement. At the start of this year, Masvidal broke news when he took to X and posted, "Unretired." This announcement was made less than a year after Masvidal's loss to Gilbert Burns. The big question that circulated between the MMA fans was whether Masvidal is planning to return to the octagon, or whether he had gotten out of his UFC contract and plans on to try boxing. These questions were answered recently when Masvidal gave an interview to Fansided MMA. Masvidal stated that he will make his highly anticipated combat sports return while also answering the fiery question of the fans. Will he be returning at the Noche UFC event in September?
Would you be interested if there's that fight coming up at the Sphere? UFC Noche is coming up. I believe it's September 14th or 15th. Is that a venue you'd love to fight at? I mean, that's going to be a historic card.
Usually you have to call him in that one in particular and work out like a rather handsome deal. But for right now, my mind's more on boxing. I got this chance to box. I'm not looking to do MMA immediately. Will I do it? Of course, I love it. It's my favorite thing in the world. But right now, I'll probably throw down some boxing before
Along with this, Masvidal was asked about the BMF title fight, to which he had a few words to say about the current BMF champion Justin Gaethje. Masvidal stated, "I think he's a king great fighter, but I also think I'd whoop his mother ass. I don't know why. Something about his style. And I like his style because he comes to fight. He's not coming to king score points. He's coming to fight and end a." He also added fuel to his already controversial rivalry with friend-turned-foe Colby Covington. Masvidal already lost to Covington in the main event of UFC 272 in 2022, but that didn't resolve their differences. Masvidal was arrested after allegedly attacking Covington outside a Miami Beach restaurant a few weeks after their fight. He accepted a plea deal last November and was sentenced to time served. Masvidal recently stated, "I'd fight him, Kobe, in the UFC or F King in the parking lot of KFC. I don't F King know," Masvidal said. "But it's going to F King happen, brother. That's all I know." This fiery interview tells us that there's still some unfinished business between Masvidal and Kobe. It will surely amp up the MMA fans as their rivalry is considered one of the best in UFC history. Coming up next, Islam Makhachev plans on fighting twice this year. While many speculated the lightweight champion would defend his title at UFC 300's main event, the time of the event clashed with the holy month of Ramadan. This scraped the plans for Islam to appear at the card, as he is a practicing Muslim who'll fast during Ramadan. Despite all of this, Islam recently took to social media where he expressed that he'd like to fight this summer, and also at the end of the year. Makhachev posted, "I'll be ready to smash someone in March, or see you after Ramadan." According to Islam's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, Islam plans on fighting twice this year.
At least he gonna fight whatever the UFC is gonna give us the date, and he will fight at least 2 times this year. At minimum.
Makhachev himself took to X and showed his desire to fight twice this year. He mentioned Justin Gaethje to be his opponent in summer, whilst in November, he wants to fight the winner of Oliveira vs Tsarukyan. Islam posted, June 8 UFC PPV vs Gaethje, November UFC MSG vs Oliveira Arman, February 2025 versus anybody inshallah. Justin Gaethje is set to defend his BMF title against Max Holloway at UFC 300, while Oliveira and Tsarukyan are fighting in a title eliminator at the same event. If Gaethje defeats Max, it's very likely that he'll call Islam for a title shot just like the winner of Oliveira and Tsarukyan. It's interesting to see which route the UFC will take. Not just this. Recently, Ilia Topuria called out Islam Makhachev. During an interview with Eurosport, Ilia revealed that he wished to go up to the lightweight division to challenge Makhachev for a second belt in a different division. After Topuria's statement, a fake quote from Makhachev circulated throughout the internet which stated, "Another short guy is talking. Another short guy wants to be smashed." This false Makhachev quote triggered Topuria to post a clip of Makhachev getting knocked out by Adriano Martins back in UFC 185 in 2015. El Matador also added salt to injury by adding a caption that wrote, "The boy is cutting you off."
Wow! Out of nowhere. Unbelievable. That was a good stoppage by Martins. Look at this perfect place. Boom. Boom. He's still on.
This statement didn't go unnoticed by the lightweight champion's teammates. During a recent interview, one of Makhachev's friends and teammate, undefeated UFC bantamweight contender Umar Nurmagomedov, took jabs towards Ilia Topuria. The 16-0 bantamweight said, "Well, I saw him. He's generally small. He'll be around 70 kilos. He's almost my height. Maybe a little taller. He can't say that he's tall. And what kind of chances does he have with Islam? I don't see him winning with Islam. I don't see with Khabib. I don't see there with anyone else. It's just that the man knows how to promote himself. This drama will surely continue as Ilya's recent KO victory against Alexander Volkanovski has made him a global star. Up next, a potential rematch news about Khamzat Chimaev vs Kamaru Usman. After stepping in on a short notice period, Usman just came up short against Khamzat back at UFC 294. This marked Usman's third straight loss after losing twice to Leon Edwards previously. While many speculate if Usman will remain at the middleweight division after an impressive showdown against Khamzat on short notice, Usman's manager Ali Abdelaziz revealed Usman's next move, keeping in mind that Paulo Costa wants to fight Usman.
Listen, the only fight he wanted at middleweight, it's Khamzat. You know, they won a 5-round main event somewhere, right? That's the only fight he wants at the moment. But right now he's recovering. He's clean. You know, he's getting his body right. And I think what Kamaru wants, he wanted a headline UFC main event in Dallas, Texas. This is where he's from. You know, and if the UFC can, you know, listen, he did a lot of good things for the UFC. Dana love him. UFC did a lot of good things for him too. And I think it's going to be a super fight. It's going to be a big fight when he come back. But it will not be Paulo Costa.
Abdelaziz also added about Usman's intentions to return near August or September. This timeline will cause problems for Chimaev, who's planning to fight in summer and is already dealing with traveling issues. All of this situation can lead to a previously scheduled bout between Khamzat and Costa. Paulo Costa recently spoke to Submission Radio and expressed his frustration regarding Khamzat's absence and unwillingness to fight him. Paulo stated, "He needs to stop running. He needs to have balls to face me. For a long time, this guy just avoids these fights. He has no balls. If the guy's not pushing him, he has no balls to fight him. He wants to fight easy fights. He doesn't want to fight guys like me or Robert Whittaker or somebody else like that. He wants to fight guys with no wrestling, no jiu-jitsu game, no grappling, or something like that. No balls." Costa is good enough to compete, but not good enough to win, considering his recent loss to Robert Whittaker at UFC 298. Before he loses to someone else, someone who the fans hold in low regard, he should be used to prop up Khamzat Chimaev if the undefeated Chechen actually beats him. Waiting too long to book the Costa fight would accomplish nothing for Chimaev. Talking about Usman, UFC President Dana White recently praised him for his willingness to fight at any time. Dana stated, "Usman was running through guys twice. You know what I mean? Usman does not get the credit he deserves. I don't know what it is, you know? He fought everybody, you know, started running through guys twice. Imagine you fight somebody that's tough, and you're like, I've got to fight this tough guy. Him and Colby Covington was a tough fight. He had no problem fighting guys twice. Usman was a bad boy." Everything that Dana said is true. Usman can be easily considered as one of the GOATs of UFC. Talking about the best UFC rivalries, one just can't miss DC vs Jones out of their list. Their last outing took place in 2017 at UFC 214, but it seems that the effects of the heated rivalry is still out there. The pair have gone back and forth on a number of occasions. Recently, during a training seminar in Thailand, Joan Bones Jones name-dropped Cormier twice.
This one Daniel Cormier does very well. He'll be here with you. He'll come with an overhand right. As soon as you bring your hand up to block the overhand right, he's coming with a high crotch.
This was not it, as Jones also cracked about DC being an aggressive opponent and to deal with him by throwing just elbows. These videos made rounds on the internet, which was also seen by Cormier as he responded to John Jones calling his name. The former two-division champ stated a bunch of topics pointing out that Jones can't get him out of his head.
As I was gone, John Jones started making the rounds. I guess he was doing a seminar or something, and he was talking about me, the way that I fought, but he was making these sounds, right? I just want everyone to know, while it seems as though he wants to give me my flowers, he likes to make fun of me. People say stuff like, Jones lives rent-free in DC's head, da-da-da. What about him? He's doing a seminar talking about me. DC used to throw this overhand right and get into the high crotch. DC fought very aggressive. I wonder if he gets the same thing that I get when I respond. Hats off to him and his team for building a great game plan, because I was going to fight with a lot of forward pressure. I love the sound he made that I would make when he would knee me in the belly, because for a long time he's called me fat. I got to see the fat under his chin for the first time.
DC also talked regarding a recent video of Francis Ngannou calling out Jon Jones to lose some weight and found it very ironic as Jones used to point him out for his weight during their rivalry. The PFL vs Bellator match witnessed the unexpected meetup between Jon Jones, Francis Ngannou, and Mike Tyson. During an interview at the Grand event, Jones was asked about his opinion on his further fights. The heavyweight champion stated that he has the potential to beat everyone in his way. I don't know where the cards are going to fall, but my prediction is that I will beat Stipe Miocic. My prediction is that I will defeat Tom Aspinall and Francis Ngannou. So, the way that it unfolds is really none of my business. This response from Jones raised the eyebrows of Ngannou, who was sitting near him. When the camera moved to the former UFC star, Ngannou, with a smile, said, "In your dreams, you're fucking fat."
So the way that it unfolds is really not my business. My job is just to do what I've always done since day one. Well, it's great.
This was a comedic exchange between the heavyweight goats. Ngannou even went near Jones to tell him that he should work out more.
Yes, sir. God bless you. Thank you. You too. Johnny boy. You need to go back to
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.